pretty good. With turkey for them. Yeah. Had a poker afternoon stars. Yep. Where'd you? Yeah, you must have seen that. Awesome. Well done last weekend, mate. I was feeling I couldn't be there to do a run. I was scared because I was super quick, man. I don't know if I was quick as you. Yeah, it is. It's going to be a bad season for me. I will miss out. Like, next weekend I'll miss out. And then I think it's the last race too. No, the second last.
So you got still got a line through Meadow every Sunday?
I reckon because Meadow's internet shit, he's probably part of the room build up. You should bring him in later.
He'll be alright. No practice.
He'll be right now. There's no line with mine.
You just wait early in the line in a second.
No, because the line happened when the internet thought it was green, but now it's not green. It's just a red and there's no line. So.
Oh, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's good, man.
Does anyone know if Tim's coming?
He said something before.
He would have made it.
He would have made it.
Who else in the team?
Like,
Fucking hope so. Playing a little wet slap for like that.
Yeah, you'll be right. You'll be fine.
What, the wet?
That's dry. Take slips and luck too.
You must have forgot that after you read the suffragettes, eh? Whatever they call them, the bloody brief, whatever.
I don't read those.
We did do a few laps last week though, Slambo.
You remember you ran me off the races? Yeah, nah, don't. Yeah.
All good. All good.
Here we go. Hello and welcome. My name's Medomonen and welcome to Medomonen Racing Community. So rebranding as of, well, recently since the last time I streamed, which was quite a few months ago now. But we're back. 2021. It's going to be a ripper of a year. And tonight we've got round 2 of RaceOnOz's BMW Group A Series at Sugo. And it's the wet race tonight, I'm pretty sure, as far as I'm aware. Here's how the team lineups are for this season. For Gamesman Racing team, we've got Get Downshift, we've got Stu, and we've got Prodigy. For Next Level Racing, we've got Benny, we've got Sparky God, we've got Slambo. For Ignition, we've got Brett Want, we've got TT, we've got DJ, and we've got Brennicles. For Selby, 2-car attack this season in kart number 1 and AO. And then for Bruce Hale Racing, we've got Williams, Missile, Aaron, and Turbo. So that is your team lineups for this season here at RaceOnOz. And here is how the leaderboards shape up heading out of round 1. Unfortunately, due to technical issues last week, we couldn't stream that round to you. But here is the result. Slambo, a previous champion in the series, comes out with a race victory. And he also got pole position, which got him an extra point there. In second, we got TT, and Stu rounds out your top 3. So we expect those guys to be well and truly up there throughout the whole season. Brett Want in P4, kart number 1 in P5. Benny in P6, Brennicles P7. Downshift in P8, our reigning champion. Didn't have a round he would like to have had last week. So hopefully he can rebound from that and hopefully get a good result this time around. We got DJ in P9, Turbo in P10. We got Missile in P11, Prodigy in P12. That was the 12-car grid last week. And we got Williams, Aaron, and AO rounding out the 15-driver field in the series. So we'll get to the round details here. So tonight, round 2, we're at Sugo. It's the wet-dry round. So it's going to start out wet and it's going to end out dry. It's a 30-lap race. Qualifying will start at 2 p.m. in game time with overcast conditions. That will be a 10-minute qualifying session. And race start 3 p.m. in game time. The weather transition all synced to the race, obviously. So quarter of the race will be light rain and we'll transfer over to medium cloud, light cloud, then clear. So expect to see a variation in strategies tonight. Do drivers opt to go on the slick compound tyres, or did I decide to stay on the wet for the entirety of the race? But there's going to be a lot of risk versus reward tonight. Obviously, time progression is real as well. Compulsory stop. They don't have to take tyres, but if they do, it'll be the option to obviously take the slick tyres when it's in the dry conditions. And accelerated tyre wear as well. So drivers still got to be a little bit cautious on how they attack on the track. So they're going to try and keep the maximum grip available within their tyres. That's not the track tonight. I don't have a track map up, but we'll go to the live scenes where the drivers are currently in, I think, qualifying session right now. So we're about 3 minutes in. We're currently on board with Stu for Gamesman Racing Team. So here are the times so far. We got Turbo at the top with a 1:28.6, a 1:28.7 for AO. So the top 2 separated by less than a tenth of a second. Then we got TT, one of our top contending drivers in the series as of the previous round. Currently rounding out your top 3, 2.5 tenths behind Turbo. Stu is currently occupying P4 here with for 1:29 flat. So let's see if these times can start to improve here throughout the mid-stage of this qualifying session. I'll just get a little bit more information up on screen as well. Track map and sector splits here. So coming out the final corner now for Stu. It's all well and truly crucial on how you get a launch out of the last corner, heading down to the back end of the main straight. It sets up a very good overtaking opportunity if you can get a good exit. And Stu goes to the top with 1:28.5, half a second quicker than his previous lap time. Now Turbo, he goes quicker by half a second, so he's put in a 1:28 flat, so he's pretty much got half a second on the entire field here. Stu, what has he got in response to this? We'll wait and see later on his lap. AO currently occupying P3, but he's only just started his lap. TT across the line, he goes P2, 1:28.4. So in between second to fourth, those guys separated by just under 2.5 tenths, so it's very close between those guys who are all top championship contenders in this series so far. Kart number 1 currently in P5 for Selby Acoustics. We'll quickly hop on board with him. Get roof view up on screen now. See how he attacks this lap here. I really like this chicane here, uphill chicane. Just got to flow it nicely through that chicane to get a good exit. Another great overtaking opportunity. These couple of corners here, down the back straight we go. So kart number 1 should get a little bit of a benefit here from the draft, but he had a little bit of a moment at the previous corner. A lot of extra oversteer there. Would have cost him a little bit of time, you'd think. That's the deepest braking zone on the circuit. It's a lot of off-camber stuff here. Kart number 1 returns to pit lane. So we'll go back to trackside view here on board with AO. He's coming out the last corner now, currently occupying P4. What has he got in response for a lap time here? He's currently 6.5 tenths down on Turbo, who currently has pole position, not able to improve. We'll see what Stu's up to here. So he's currently in the first sector. Really trying to attack the chicane. A lot of inside curb there. May have lost him a little bit of time. Would have had to resettle that car on the track to regain its grip. It's looking quite fine through the mid-sector here as he enters the back straight. So 2 tenths down. Quickly see what TT is up to. So he's currently coming out of the last sector now. I think he's down on his current lap time. The second split just came up a few moments ago. Didn't have enough time to view it, but here we go. Is this going to be an improvement for TT as he exits the last corner now here at Sugo? But for Turbo, if he can hold on to this, he's going to be very hard to beat tonight. What's this for TT? No improvement there. We go on board with Prodigy. He's moved up into the top 5. Got a little bit of front end damage there though. I'm not sure if that's going to hinder his performance on this lap. We'll wait and see as he exits the last corner. He's got a car in behind him. We'll be getting a benefit from Prodigy here. So this is going to be for him. Currently 8.5 tenths down on pole position. He improves, but not on the leaderboards. Brett Wan, what has he got in store for us on this lap? Just trying to get back into a groove here. So currently occupying P7, 1.8 seconds behind the pace of Turbo. Surely an improvement? No. Slambo, previous champion here at RaceOnOz's Project Cars Sunday Night League. He's currently occupying P8. He won last round, last time out, and he also got pole position last time out. It's very awkward to see him in this spot. We know he's fast. He's just going to put a lap together if he's to contend with the guys at the top. Turbo with a ripper lap time. And it's going to be very hard to beat. So 1:30 left in this qualifying session here at Sugo. A little bit of a moment on corner exit there for Slambo. Half a second down, so not looking likely to improve. Now as for Benny, what's his sector split? 2 tenths down on his quickest. Brenicles, what's his? He's half a second up. So we'll stay on board with him because it looks like he's going to improve quite substantially here. So we'll go on board roof view. Let's see what he's got in the last couple of sectors for us. He's went a little bit wide, didn't hit his inside apex as he would like to. He's just going to flow the car nicely through here. It's a lot of on and off throttle, but I reckon Brennicles just got himself caught up a bit because he's only just up on his quickest. And it's not really going to be an improvement on the leaderboards for him. So AO, he's parked up. He will not be able to take further part in this qualifying session. So he's just going to have a close eye on the guys behind him. TT currently just under a 10th of a second down on AO. So this will be TT's final lap. What's he got in store for us then? We're about to get the second split out of the second sector. Turbo's parked it up as well. He's got 3 attempts on the rest of the field. TT just under 2 100ths up or below his time. He's going to have a very good last sector here if he's to at least get himself on the front row. So qualifying further part. TT improves, but not enough to get himself on the front row. Prodigy parked up as well. Brett Wan, he's currently stuck in the mid sector as well. He's got a driver ahead of him, not sure who that is. I think that's Slambo. So Slambo currently 3 attempts of a second down on Brett Wan. Brett Wan's currently up on his quickest. And a massive moment there for Slambo, I think it is, and it is. Slambo, championship leader in the wall. He'll start near the back of the grid here, currently occupying P8. What does Benny and Brennicles have in store for us? Can they put themselves up above Slambo, the championship leader? We'll wait and see. Benny coming out the last corner now. We'll get the trackside view here. Is it enough to punch himself above Slambo? It is not. How about for Brennicles coming across the line? So qualifying session over. Brennicles wasn't able to improve there. So here we go. Here's your starting grid. Turbo, AO, TT, that's your top 3. Wonderful lap time for pole position from Turbo. We've got Stu, Prodigy rounding out your top 5. Cut number 1 in P6. Brett Wan P7. Slambo, championship leader. Got a lot of work to do earlier on if he's to maintain that points advantage at the top of the series. We've got Benny and Brennicles on the back row in row 5. So that is your grid for round 2 here at Sugo. It's the ret round.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be too far off green flag racing here. So don't go anywhere. It's going to be a ripper of a round. Going to be a variation in strategies that's really going to entertain us tonight. Who chooses to go on the slick tyres when it's ready? Who knows?
Yes, Slambo, you will need to change to slicks.
If there's any incidents, we will be taking names.
Thanks, Stu.
And yeah, what's his name has got the stream up.
Thanks for qualifying right in front of me, Stu. That'll help.
Yeah, you know, I
We'll be back
look forward to
before we get racing here. Yeah, it looks like everyone will be going to slick tyres once it's time to go to do so. The only problem is,
alright, here we go.
to take the slicks too early,
You like fellas?
there'll be a one-line groove, and basically you can't overtake any car anyway, so you got to get onto the slicks at the right time. And we will not know until that right time comes upon us. So here we go, Turbo. We'll start from pole position. We've got AO and P2 for Selby Acoustics. We've got TT in P3 there for Next Level Racing, I think it is. No, it's
Well done, Turbo.
Ignition Controls. Just trying to get to know these liveries here. Stu for Gamesman Racing Team in P4 on the second row. And we've got Prodigy, his teammate, in P5. The next of the Selby cars. They had a round 2 forget last week, but looking quite good to get a good result so far this week. P2 and P6 for AO and cut number 1. Let's see what they can do in the Selby Acoustics cars. Then we've got Brett Wan for Ignition Controls. He's currently occupying P7, 4th in the championship. He needs to try maintain that points deficit down from Slambo, who currently sits alongside him here. So it's a little win here for Brett Wan on his championship contender here in Slambo. That's for Benny and Brennicles. Those guys will round out the back of the grid. So here we go. Will Turbo not get it bogged off the start? It's really easy to do so in these BMW Group A cars. And here we go green at Sugo. And it looks as though everyone's got a good start. Everyone trying to fight for space here. Down the main stroke, a little bit of contact between AO and Stu. And Stu moves up from P4 to P2 just before the first corner. And he's slotted in right behind Turbo, the pole sitter. So here we go, we'll go back on board with Stu. He's got TT for company behind him. And then he's got his teammate Prodigy in P4. So Prodigy moved up one position from his starting position as well. Is that Brett 1 in P5? It is. So he's moved up from 7th to 5th. He's got a massive launch there. Championship leader, Slambo, all the way at the back. He's had a little bit of contact with someone by the looks of it. A little bit of panel damage on the right-hand side, and he's really unsettled in that car. He's not having a good time here in these wet conditions. So championship leader getting a little bit caught up in the early stages of this one. It's a 30-lap race, still a long time to go. He's just going to have to get into a groove just to accumulate enough points to be able to build up that consistency that's required of being a championship winner here in RaceOnOz's Sunday night series for Project Cars 2. So Turbo, he's got Stu for company right behind him now. Stu has gained a massive advantage through the mid-sector. He's looking really settled in these wet conditions. We've got two guys behind him, TT and Prodigy, battling it out as well. That's the last spot on the podium. So we're about to exit lap 1 here at Sugo. So, wasn't too bad with contact this lap. So everyone's separated by 8.5 tenths of a second, which is quite fine here. So Turbo will enter lap number 2 as the race leader. Stu trying to take a look down the inside, but thinking second about that. And Yui is a little bit too far back to even consider it. Here we go, Prodigy, he's moved up on TT. So the two Gainton Racing team drivers, Stu and Prodigy, P2 and P3. Those guys, I'm pretty sure, currently second in the team's championship, just below Next Level Racing. Slambo is a driver for Next Level Racing, currently occupying P10, so not getting the big points all so far for Next Level Racing he is. So Prodigy just trying to get right in behind his teammate here. And it looks as though Prodigy is on a roll here, so he might be able to overtake Stu in the next couple of laps or so and be able to make an attack on Turbo. So that gap's starting to build up from the top 4 drivers all the way back to the bottom 6 drivers here. So Brett 1 currently occupies P5. You can just see him on the screen now. So he's got a little bit of work to do. He's catch up to the rear end of TT here. But currently our eyes are focused on this battle for the top spots. Two Gainton Racing Team drivers, Stu and Prodigy, trying to overtake Turbo for Bruce Hale Racing. And as for Turbo, he would like to come out with the race victory tonight with the qualifying form he showed us. 3 tenths of a second quicker than everyone else on track. And here we go, the Gainton Racing Team drivers go side by side down the main straight. But Prodigy's going to back out a little bit. I reckon he's stuck on the wrong side of the road to be able to make an overtaking manoeuvre at turn 1. Is he going to do a cut back here? He's taking a look, but he's not able to get the grip on exit of turn 1. So Stu, a little win there for him. They've just caught back a little bit here. I reckon Turbo will be favoured by this opportunity here with the teammates battling each other. That's Prodigy going down the inside. Stu making a mistake. So Prodigy should be able to put his head down and hopefully make an attack on Turbo. We'll see what is happening throughout the rest of the field. TT, as a result of that battling of teammates there, he's caught up right to the rear bumper of Stu. So Stu, under immense amount of pressure on lap 3 here. She's got to keep a cool head. Brett 1, he's chipped into that gap a little bit on TT, I reckon, but obviously nowhere near where he needs to be if he's to make an overtake on TT. He's got a decent gap between himself and Benny as well, so he doesn't have much to deal with at this stage. Kart number 1, just trying to get through this race. Well, he's lost a couple of positions off his starting position here. And as for Brennicles, he came from last. He's up into P8, so a couple little wins there for him. AO, he is the biggest loser in this race so far. Started P2 for Selvia Q6, all the way back in the P9 now. Championship leader Slambo is really struggling in these conditions. He's 22, almost 23 seconds off the lead of this race. So he's going to have to try and come up with a good strategy to get back into this, you'd think. But yeah, still plenty of time to do so. Turbo, he's really driving the wheels off this Bruce Hale racing car. But unfortunately he had a little bit of a moment which cost him a little bit of time out of turn 3. And now he's got a lot of pressure from Prodigy behind him. bumper to bumper stuff here, guys. Here we go, through the chicane, one line groove. Now, a lot of overtaking opportunities coming up for Prodigy on Turbo. Turbo is really feeling the pressure, but Prodigy, he goes out wide into the sand. And he's lost a lot of time there in comparison to Turbo. And as for Stu, teammate of Prodigy, I wouldn't think he'll be fighting him too hard. Obviously, everyone's out there to win. But being teammates, I reckon there'll be a little bit of planning involved to be able to maximise each of their results here. So TTE drifted off a little bit as well. Brett Wan, I don't know what's happened to him because that gap is almost a corner gap now between him and TT. So he's drifting back a little bit. Benny right in the rear bumper of him now. So this is going to be a battle to watch, I reckon. Final spot in the top 5 up for grabs here. So we'll quickly hop on board the roof view. Hopefully we get good visibility here. So we're going to take a lap on board with Benny. So I'm going to shut up and show you what it's like in these struggling conditions here. Interrupt here. Benny's got the overtake done down the back straight, so that's an awesome move. But Brett Wan, he made a mistake, but he's trying to regain the position. Tries to take a look, but it's not going to be able to pull off. The more these guys battle like this, the less likely it is that they're going to catch up to the front pack of 4 drivers. Turbo, Prodigy, Stu and TT. Those guys just in a league of their own at the moment. So this is the midfield battle that we're focused on tonight. Now Brett Wan, is he going to be able to make the most of this exit here? Get back to trackside view, get a better view of it now. A bit caught up in the spray of water out the back of the car. But Benny looks like he's able to hold on here, so good little win there for him. Now here we go, bumper to bumper, Turbo v Prodigy. Prodigy taking a look down the inside. We got contact between the top 2, but Turbo, he's been nudged out the way. That's as fair as you're going to get here. Rubbing is racing as long as you don't take each other out. That's well within the rules, but now Stu going down the inside of his teammate. But not able to get the grip on corner exit there, so Prodigy lives to fight another day here in P2. TT, he's really been favoured in this situation. Turbo, a little bit unsettled on corner exit heading into the back straight. Lights are on for Prodigy. He's trying to take a look down the inside. Is he going to get it done under brakes? He's got the inside line which turns to the outside. Side by side, Turbo and Prodigy. Stu, he could be able to really get something out of this. They're all taking a one-line groove through the final sector here. So 1 corner to go for lap 6. These top 3 guys, 2 Gamesman Racing Team cars, Bruce Hull Racing Car and Turbo, are really putting on a show for us tonight. TT is just trying to stay in contention here for a race victory. He got a podium last week, and he would like to do the same this week. And here we go, Prodigy once again, down the inside, heading to turn 1. Is he going to be able to pull it off this time? Surely. He's going to have the outside line. If Turbo holds onto the outside line here, it turns on to the inside, and he's going to be able to maintain position here in P1. But Prodigy going for a cutback manoeuvre, trying to do the same thing he did last lap. But Turbo blocks his opportunity to do so. So now this 4-pack of cars is really bunched up. Less than a second separate the top 4. And that's Stu having a little bit of a moment, having to negotiate space between TT and himself through the chicane. those guys drifted off a little bit due to that. It's now a 2-horse race here between Turbo and Prodigy down the back straight. And Turbo looking to be very unsettled with the immense pressure being served to him by Prodigy in P2. Is Prodigy trying to take a look? No, he doesn't. I reckon he's just trying to settle it down a little bit. He knows he's still got a long time to make this move. He's stuck on the outside here, and it's not a place you want to be. Here we go. He's got an overlap here. This could end badly for both of these guys, but they are negotiating race room very well. I think Prodigy's drifted off a little bit. Turbo got a very good exit through the last sector, and that's just gained a little bit of time over Prodigy here. Less than half a second. Still a decent gap for Turbo, but it's just a little bit of pressure relieved here, you would think. So Turbo not going to be under pressure anytime soon. I might be eating my words here because Prodigy right up to the rear bumper once again. So we've still got reasonably wet conditions here, so obviously not time to go on for slicks. But who's this coming in the pit lane? Is that Brett One or Brennicles? It's Brennicles. So let's see if he goes in for a set of slick tyres. It's not raining anymore, but there's still a lot of water build up on the track. So here we go. Is this a set of slick tyres? And it looks like it is because they're changing. No. So Brennicles is remaining on the wet compound here. How about Slambo? Is he going to the slick tyres? No, he isn't either. So he's just going to get his pit stop out the way. He's just going to have to hope for the best on the wet compound. Hope that there's enough water on the track towards the end of the race. Turbo, he's still got the lead of this one. Now it's the top 5 battling. And we got a little bit of a moment for Gainsborough Racing Team car Prodigy. He's completely lost it. And Stuart's lucky to not get caught up in that moment from Prodigy, his teammate. And he's lost a whole heap of ground here, 2nd to 6th in just under a couple of corners. So he's must have heated up these wet tyres up just a little bit too much, Prodigy. As a result, he's completely rotated it. Here we go, Stu under a second behind Turbo. So Turbo got no pressure whatsoever anymore. He'd be relieved with that. It'll be a very good sight for him, but obviously not for Prodigy. Now, who was that out off the track there? I'm not sure. Maybe a bit of latency, but we'll go on board with Benny here. He's currently P4, so he's really come out of nowhere here to almost be up with the lead guys. So he's only 1.4 seconds away from Turbo, who is currently our race leader. So I reckon there was a little bit of a moment with the front 4 guys here that's really made Benny catch up to the back of this pack. So Prodigy moves back up into P5, so look for him to be on the charge here. You know he has the pace to be able to get up. Oh, we got a little bit of contact in the background here. Prodigy just trying to negotiate race room with Brett One. Looks as though the water is really drying out now, so maybe it is time for slicks, who knows. Let's see who the first driver is to respond. But I don't think Slambo and Brennicles are going to be able to survive on the wet compound that they opted to stay with. So look for them to maybe come in the pit lane once more at some stage, because this track is really drying up pretty quick now. And as for Stu, he's only 0.2 of a second behind Turbo. We've got lap traffic to negotiate with here. And Turbo is following Brennicles in. Brennicles with a little bit of a moment on entry to pit lane. A lot of contact with the pit wall there. So this is a crucial stop for our previous race leader, Turbo. Looks as though he is going in for a set of slicks. No, just getting a little bit of fill and that's it. So let's go here. Surely. I'm not sure what's happening here with Turbo. He's been held up a little bit in the pits. So here we go, Stu, currently your race leader, closely followed by TT, who's half a second down on Stu, and then we got Benny rounding out your top 3. So pretty much the top 7 drivers yet to make their mandatory pit stop. They've still got 20 odd laps to do so still plenty of time to be able to, you know, come up with these strategies that's going to be able to come out victorious here. I reckon for someone like Stu and TT, it's probably best to run out longer just to see how these conditions change throughout the mid-stage of this. They'll be able to assess their options a lot better than Turbo and anyone else that's currently drifted off in the pit lane already. So here we go, Stu. Looks like, yeah, he's drifting off in the pit lane here, so race leader will be TT now, followed by Benny and P2. So let's see if Stu goes on to the slick compound. Who else is in? We've got Prodigy and Brett Want all in pit lane. So you can see pit crew's out, ready to go. So here we go, Stu's in. Got another driver coming in the pit lane as well. It's one of the Selby cars. And that is kart number 1. So everyone but Benny and TT have made their mandatory pit stops here. So it looks as though, I don't think we're getting the animation from changing tyres here. So maybe the guys like Turbo are on slick tyres, but I don't know. I don't have that data available to me either. So as for Turbo, he's jumped Stu in the pits here. It's a massive gap. So I'm not sure what's happened to Stu. He's lost a little bit of time in the pits here because he was right up to the rear bumper of Turbo. And they were both racing one another a couple of laps ago. As for Benny, he's currently in front of TT now, so TT having a little moment on this lap. Now, do these guys opt to go into the pits? Just wait and see. No, they're going to go out one more time around. That's Benny we're talking about. So TT drifts off the right-hand side in the pit lane. So this is going to be a crucial stop for TT as well, because he was in the lead pack before everyone started to make their pit stops. So we've entered lap 12 of 30 here at Sugo, and conditions are pretty much drying up now, so it shouldn't be too difficult to keep the cars on track unless you do remain on the wet compound. So it'll be very easy to heat up if you don't have puddles of water to be able to cool them down. So Turbo goes right past, so does Stu. Yep, there he is. So he's moved up into P3. So the gap between Turbo and Stu is 4 seconds. Now the question is Benny within striking distance of the lead drivers? He's currently 23.5 seconds ahead of Turbo. I think he'll come out about P5, P6. So he'll be in that midfield battle. Based on the current timings we got now, it's a reasonably long pit transit here at Sugo. You don't actually exit pit lane until turn 2. So you can see there's still a little bit of water on the track, but at points you would expect it to be. So here we go. Yep, positioning for a pit stop here in Benny. Pit entry is all but crucial now. Very easy to overshoot it here, which means very easy to get a time penalty added to your total time at the end of the race. So here we go. Let's see how long this stop is here for Benny. So he's one of the next level racing drivers. His teammate, championship leader Slambo, currently not a round to remember so far, considering he won last round. Almost clean sweep the whole points as well, so he came out with pole position in the race victory. Fastest lap, pretty sure went to Brett Want, so that's the only thing he got pipped of last week, but completely different fortunes for him this week. But Turbo, in a league of his own, he's led this race pretty much from start to where we are now. He's got a decent gap between himself and Stu, so 4.5 seconds is that gap. gap between Stu and TT is just under 2 seconds, so this might be a battle that would start to heat up pretty soon. Now the question is, does Prodigy have enough pace in his Gamesman Racing Team car to challenge for the back end of the podium here? I reckon a race victory looking unlikely at this stage, considering he's 10 seconds down from Turbo. But with the pace he's got, surely he should at least be able to move up into P3. But we'll wait and see once everyone crosses the line under checkered flag. Here we go. This is the battle that we were talking about 7 laps ago when we went on board with Benny. These guys still go on battle here. Benny did come out P5, P6, so his timings were right according to what I came up with. Just trying to see what sort of battle packs we got heating up here. Kart number 1 and Slambo championship leader. These guys are pretty close as well at the back end of the field. So everyone's still on the lead lap. I think no, Brennicles is currently a lap down. So everyone else on the lead lap. Slambo 30 seconds down from the leader of this race, Turbo. Cut number 1. He's going to have to go defensive heading into turn 1. Looks as though he's lost a lot of ground through the last corner of the track. Didn't get a good exit as he wished to. Slambo looking to drop off a little bit as well, so it's about the same between those guys. AO, he's got really no one for company for ages here. Benny, so he's been overtaken. So Brett Wan up in the P5. So Brett Wan is on a charge here. He'll be another driver that we look to see if he can actually make the back end of the podium here. He's currently 8 seconds down from 3rd position, occupied by TT. But this is the battle we're about to hop on board with here. Stu and TT. That gap is diminishing there between those two. So a couple laps ago it was just under 2 seconds. Now it's about 1.5. So we'll quickly hop on board with TT for a lap here. So we've just hit the halfway point here at Sugo. You see the conditions very favourable for the drivers now. There's only little patches of water here and there. Go back to trackside view now, but just in, Slambo has overtaken kart number 1, so he's moved up in the P8, so he's looking to salvage a decent result here. So the previous laps between the top 3 drivers only separated by 2.5 tenths of a second, so it really shows the quality of those top 3 guys. Now you could also put Brett Wan and Benny in that pack as well, because those guys aren't too far off either. As for Slambo, it looks like he's just driving away from kart number 1 now, which is a good sign for the championship leader. We'll keep an eye on what the sector splits are there for him and the timing in comparison to every other driver, but currently sitting 29 seconds down from the lead of the race in Turbo. But here we go, TT currently occupying P3. He's lost a lot of time on the previous 2 laps, so I'm not sure what's going on here for TT, because Stu looks like he's in a league of his own here, trying to catch up to the rear end of Turbo. then Turbo. He's just maintaining that gap between himself and Stu, so he doesn't really have to do anything too crazy to win this race now. All he has to do is keep it on track and punch out consistent lap times here at Sugo, and it should get him across the line first. We'll quickly have a look at the championship standings right now as well, because I'm just curious to know where Turbo currently sits in the standings and whether or not he'll exit this round as championship leader. So Turbo, no, he finished P10 last week, so he's got 7 points on the board. So if he clean sweeps the round, he'll go to an extra 22 points, which will put him on 30. So if we compare that to an eighth place finish, Slambo's still going to come out as the championship leader heading in the round 3. So I don't think Slambo has to do too much to be able to maintain the championship lead. As long as he finishes where he is, he should be fine. But the question is, TT might actually take the reins. So yeah, I stand corrected there. We'll go back to the live scenes. We'll hop on board once again with Turbo, our current race leader here at Sugo. It's round 2 of RaceOnOz's BMW Group A Series. So currently on lap 17 of 30, Turbo's driving away a little bit. No, he's lost about 0.4 of a second on the previous lap here in comparison to Stu. That gap's starting to extend out, coming out of the last corner for him. Just trying to see the sector splits here, the splits between the different drivers. So Brett Wan, he's up in P4, but he's got Prodigy for company in behind. He's not too far off. We got Benny in the background as well. So Prodigy and Benny, that's the battle we're watching with a close eye right now. So lights are on for Prodigy. Now it's Benny going to look to take a move, head into turn 1. He's looking to position for it. Not very good on the brakes, these BMW Group A cars, considering they're very outdated these days. If you get someone on the brakes, it's probably best to flip as well. So you just don't diff lock the car because it's a H-pattern gearbox. You want to go down gears too fast. So we go Prodigy just getting the upper hand on Benny here, and he's drifting away just a little bit now. He's got his eyes forward, focus on Brett Want, who's his next challenger to deal with. So we'll quickly move a little bit further up on board with Brett Want, because I want to get the bigger picture here of the 3 guys, Brett Want, Prodigy and Benny. This is the battle for P4. Top 3 guys all separated by 4 seconds of one another. So 4 seconds back from Turbo is Stu, and another 4 seconds back from Stu is TT. So there's really nothing happening further ahead nor further behind either, because those gaps, 5 seconds between AO and Slambo. We've got a 15-second gap between Slambo and kart number 1. We've got Brennicles a lap, almost 2 laps down here at Sugo. As for Brett Want, it looks like he's maintaining the advantage here. So we go, head into turn 1. I might have to go further back on board with Prodigy, considering he's losing a little bit of time in that last sector. Now Benny's looking to really be on the attack here now. So this might be a change of position here for Benny and Prodigy. If Benny keeps his head cool here, should be able to make a move sometime around. Prodigy just not looking himself at the moment. He's very good through the mid-sector, so he's got a massive launch there in comparison to Brett Want. So here we go, down the back straight for another time here at Sugo. The track conditions have pretty much dried off completely now. It's a very good sign that we're going to get a lot of bumper-to-bumper racing towards the end of this one. It's very hard to race bumper-to-bumper in the wet, but it is very easy to race that close in the dry. So hopefully it's going to be a very entertaining last 10 laps. Just trying to see if we got anything else happening throughout the field. At this stage, I reckon this is what we're going to be watching from now up until the end of the race. See what Prodigy's got in store for us this lap. He's got a better exit through the mid corner in comparison to Brett Want. So Brett Want, he's going to be feeling the pressure in the next couple of moments or so. So we go very deep under brakes for Prodigy, getting right up to the rear bumper of Brett Want. So it's ignition controls, the first games of racing team here. And then you've got Next Level Racing in the mix as well, with Benny in behind. So here we go, Prodigy showing himself in the mirror of Brett Want. So he's trying to force the mistake on Brett Want here. Here we go, he's right in the slipstream now. And Brett Want has identified that, so he's gone the defensive line into the dirty part of the road. Here we go, right on the rear bumper. Prodigy, does he try to send it down the inside? He's trying to take a look, but it's a one-line groove for his next couple of corners. So maybe not the possibility to overtake until turn 1. Assuming he gets a better exit out of the last corner here at Sugo, he should be able to make the move under brakes. We'll go a little bit further back on board with Benny. He's got a better view of this. So Brett Want, he goes defensive down the main straight. He knows he's under extreme amount of pressure here. There's still a little bit of water build up on the inside line, which may cost Brett Want the position here. Looking for a cutback here. Prodigy not able to make the move. Brett Want, he's driving the widest car you've ever seen here. It's well and truly within the rules as well. Not sure what's going on. Hopefully it didn't disconnect me. Everyone's pretty much frozen. I've been disconnected. Try to get back into the lobby. Should be too far off getting back in. Hopefully it doesn't do that again. Hopefully the invite still works. Here we go. Hopefully I can actually join in and spectate. So hopefully things are still as it should be. Oh, here we go. Still a little bit laggy though. Not sure what's going on. Not looking good. There we go. So hopefully things should be settled down now. So a little bit on and off here. So we go back to the battle that we were watching a few moments ago, but it looks as though Brett Want, he's completely drifted ahead of the two guys behind him. What's happened to Prodigy? Because he's drifted a hell ton back between those two guys. So we're in the crucial stage of the race here. I'm not sure what the time difference is between Turbo and Stu. It's technically classing Stu as the leader based on these timings. He's in P2. So last lap for Stu was a 1:29.7, plays a 1:30 flat for Turbo. So 3 tenths quicker that time around for Stu. And TT 2 tenths quicker than Turbo as well. So 2 guys behind Turbo Just got a little bit of the upper hand now, but looks as though those two guys just a little bit too far behind based on that current pace to be able to go up ahead and create a challenge for Turbo. Turbo will be the biggest mover in the championship standings at the end of the night, assuming he stays where he is. Get the rest of the data up on screen as well. So here we go. Who's got the fastest lap? So it looks as though Stu just got the upper hand, the fastest lap here. There's barely anything in it. 3 1,000ths of a second for that extra point in favour of Stu. So we'll be trying to maintain that there. I don't think we'll be going any quicker for the rest of the night anyway. But Stu, I stand corrected there, a 129 flat, so that means he improves his fastest lap time by a fair margin. We're back on board with this battle between Brett Wan and Benny. So these two guys separated by 1 and a bit seconds here. So we've got about 6 laps to go here at Sugo. It looks as though Turbo is going to come out with chocolates tonight. He's hasn't put a foot wrong here tonight. When it all mattered, he kept the cool head and was able to maintain position over Stu and Prodigy in the early stages. That's the sort of stuff that wins you races and championships in the world of sim racing. Keeping a cool head, but also being aggressive at the same time. It's the sort of mentality the top sim racers have. As for the championship leader, Slambo, I reckon he moved to about P2 or P3 in the championship. His closest competitors is Stu and TT, currently both rounding out your top 3. So it's going to be very close at the top of the leaderboards between those 3. And then also Turbo, because he should be able to move up into P4 at the end of this round. And that extra point, all but crucial for Stu, because I reckon he'll come out as your championship leader as it stands. As for Brett Wan, he should be able to maintain position in championship standings as well. So it's going to be very tight between the top 5. As for the team's championship, I reckon there'll be a massive shake-up in the team championship points. We've got Bruce Hale Racing around to forget last week, but they see themselves in completely different fortunes this week with Turbo currently leading the charge for Bruce Hale Racing. He's leading this one. He's going to come out with the victory tonight. So a big haul of points for those guys at Bruce Hale Racing. Should be able to move them up in the team standings as well. Big haul of points for them is what they want. Off on board with Stu. He's chipping in that gap a little bit between himself and Turbo, but they're both really consistent. And Turbo pipping Stu on the previous lap, only just though. 130 flat plays, a 129.9, so 1/10 of a second difference on the previous lap. So there's not enough laps for Stu to be able to gain an advantage out of that. So he's just going to have to hold on to position here as well as TT. So it looks as though that the top 3 are all set for the finish here. So Turbo, Stu and TT, as it stands, will be your podium finishes here at Sugo. And as for AO, obviously a round to forget for him. Starting on the front row, all the way back in P8. Kart number 1 in P9. We've got Brennicles a couple of laps down in P10. Slambo's moved up into P7, so he's made ground from his starting position, but not the haul of points he would like though. decent recovery. As for Prodigy, he was there or thereabouts to be able to challenge for the race victory up into the halfway stage of this one. I reckon wasn't able to stay consistent as he would like to, and that's what's cost him a whole bunch of time in comparison to Turbo and the rest of the guys ahead of him. So he'll be having a massive review of tonight's round, hopefully rectifying those issues, because we know he's fast, but it's a matter of being able to remain consistent as well. He can be very good one lap pace wise, but if you're not good in the race with race pace, you're not well and truly going to win a race. It's all about keeping the car on track and in one piece. So the last few laps up ahead, Turbo with quite a decent lead. Stu, he's actually chipped into it quite a bit. He was ticking under 3 seconds a moment ago. See who's got fastest lap so far, and it is in favour of Stu, just over 0.2 of a second there. No, Slambo's actually got fastest lap, so Slambo, championship leader, currently got the extra point for fastest lap. That's a good sign for him. I'll get that off the screen. Get out of that view. So Stu's had a few moments here by the looks of it. Considering how banged up his car looks, still going to finish quite decently here at Sugo. Brett just gaining a little advantage here and there over Benny. Benny just drifting off a little bit in comparison to Brett Watt. Well, like I said earlier on in the stream, consistency is key in winning championships, and that's for Brett Watt. That's another top 5 finish for him. So if he's able to keep up this form, and if things go his way throughout the entirety of the series, you obviously don't have to win a race to win a championship. That's the thing. See, depending on what happens throughout the entirety of the championship, you can have drivers that have one good week, win a race, but have a mediocre week the next. Guys like Brett Watt are favoured by that sort of situation. Keep up this form that he's got in Div 1 here at RaceOnOz's Sunday Night League, BMW Group A Series. He'll be one of the contenders to look forward to head into the final round. I reckon the top 5 drivers will be separated by less than 5 points heading out of this round, so everything to play for heading in the round 3. As for Stu, penultimate lap for him and Turbo. Turbo not a foot wrong tonight. He's kept his head cool. He's kept the car on track as he should. He's going to come out with the victory tonight. Good bounce back for him considering his result last week. Got in the top 10, but not a big haul of points for where he was last week in comparison to this week. So he can have a massive jump in the standings. So he'd be very happy about the result tonight. That's for Bruce Hale Racing. Those guys will also move up in the team's championship due to this result. It's a good sign for those guys at Bruce Hale Racing. Sideways there from Turbo. Might be showing off just a little bit here. Let's see. Does anyone have anything in store for us on the last lap? Can anyone else punch out a quick time that's quick enough to get fastest lap of the race? Look for drivers like Turbo, Stu, TT, Slambo. Those guys, I reckon, on this last lap are going to put everything at it. 0.4 of a second down on his quickest and Turbo. 1:28.7 for Slambo. So championship leader, he's pretty much sealed the deal with fastest lap there. 28.7 is the quickest lap by quite a margin as well. So very good lap time there for the championship leader. And he's moved up in the P6. Prodigy had a massive moment there out the last corner. So a round to forget for Prodigy. He's not going to be too happy with his result tonight, that's for sure. So here we go, we're on board with Turbo. You can see Stu in the distance there, but pretty much sealed and delivered here for Turbo. Matter of fact, I think he's the only Selby car, Bruce Hale racing car in the lobby tonight. Definitely is. Got a big haul of points for him and his team. It's what he's after here. He's led the race from start to finish pretty much, but the time he came into the pits, he came out ahead of everyone with quite a margin. I don't know how it happened like that, but here we go. A very well-deserved victory for Turbo. He got pole position and he came out victorious tonight. Now end of race shenanigans begin. There we go. Stu will round out P2. TT will round out your podium here at Sugo. So another consistent result for him. Brett Wan will also do the same. Another P4 finish in this series. He'll see himself cemented as a genuine contender here. Benny rounds out your top 5. Slambo, championship leader. Pretty much crashing every bit of barriers we've got available on the track. But he'll come out P6, 2 positions ahead of where he started. Prodigy, a round to forget, will finish in P7. Cut number 1 will finish in P8. AO will finish in P9. The Selby guys, another result they wouldn't want to look back upon, that's for sure. They both started in decent positions in P2 and P6. And we've got Brennicles rounding out your 10 car field here tonight. So just get this officially done here. So here we go there, your podium guys there. So just waiting for everyone else to finish here. I think AO will be the last driver across the line. That will be Brennicles who crosses the line. There you have it, that's round 2, done and dusted for RaceOnOz's Group A Sunday night series. So we'll see you next week for round 3. I'm not sure what's in store for us next week. I'll quickly have a look at the calendar. I think it might be Long Beach. So it will be a Long Beach night race next week. That's going to be a ripper street circuit action at Long Beach in California, I think it is. I stand corrected if I'm wrong. But there we go.